We're here with Dean Stotz. Some tips on student athletes that want to become college athletes, and some tips also that help the parents. Coach, I think one of the interesting things is everyone knows that a coach like you, who was at Stanford so many years, you know what you want to see on the field, how hard someone throws, maybe how far someone can hit the ball, how fast they run. But why don't we talk about on the field, how you act, your etiquette on the field, your etiquette at a tournament. What do you think are some tips that you have for kids that want to look professional, look like major college players, and how to act on the field that isn't exactly throwing a baseball or catching a baseball?
Well, I think when I go see somebody play, I try to assume that the effort they're giving me is going to be their best effort, their attitude is going to be their best attitude, and their hustle is going to be their best hustle. Now, it's kind of hard when you don't know who's watching all the time, and as people wear down and you play day game after a night game, so on and so forth. I don't think at 16 to 20 years old you get tired. You may get tired mentally, but you don't get tired physically. It's not a 162 game grind where you're flying 2,000 miles like the big leagues. Now, as far as that goes, so you're looking for somebody that their pace of play, how they get on and off the field is, as bizarre as that seems, a really important item to me. I look at how they respond when they don't do well. I watch the dugout intently to watch that young man to see, is he a good teammate? Does he root for his fellow teammates? Those are key aspects to does he respect his coach, and does he respect his fellow teammates? And more so when I get to know them better, more so does he respect his mom and dad? Because if you find somebody who doesn't respect their parents, he's going to probably be pretty difficult to coach in the long run.
What about things like you don't want to see someone maybe throw their equipment? I was reading sometimes you don't want to see a person kind of get out of the dugout and maybe go to the snack shack or ask for food. I mean, things like that. Are those little things that you look at as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, certainly bad behavior in relationship to umpires and that kind of disrespect. I mean, if you ask yourself, could the pitch been called a strike, you probably say so. It's just this accountability factor and understanding that nobody's out to kind of get you. So if you can't look, if you're going to play at the elite level, you're going to play under constant pressure. You need to embrace pressure, because if you don't have pressure, you're not where you want to be. I mean, when you're the last place team in the Houston Astros last year, you don't have much pressure from July on, or if you're in a pennant race. So you want somebody that's going to embrace pressure, and it's not going to kind of tranquilize them, that they seize the moment, and the bigger the moment, the better they play. It's a huge item for me as far as approach to respect with the umpire. That things can be called the other way, because my dad told me it's kind of not what you accomplish in life, but what you overcome. And in a little microcosm of the game, it's kind of I learn a lot more about players when they fail than when they have success. So the little things like that. For instance, if I'm a right fielder and every time that guy gives a pickoff move to first base, I'm seeing if you make one or two steps for the one time out of 200 times that it gets by the first baseman, that you've already got a head start. Well, those are the kinds of things that make the difference many times between winning and losing and stopping the extra base. So approach as far as, uniform, just as soon as he walks off the field, does the guy unbutton his uniform down to his belly button? Just does he turn his hat around backward? I'm kind of old school, but I think the impression that you want to go to work, and this is workmanlike approach benefits you in the long run.
Yeah, Coach.